Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another awesome video. Jon Stewart, will my weeknights be without you? Yes folks, as you've probably heard on social media and on the news, The Daily Show's Jon Stewart, after 17 magnificent seasons as its host and anchor, hung up his scribble scratch this week as he said goodbye to The Daily Show. Now, I honestly can't remember the first time I ever watched The Daily Show. I know it was sometime in high school because I remember a skit with him with something involving Jason, but I've been watching for that long. Along with the Colbert Report, it made up what I consider to be Comedy Central's news-amentary hour, which essentially was them just poking fun at news and bringing the truth in their own little skewed fashion. That's right. And it's pretty much official that people nowadays got most of their news from The Daily Show and The Colbert Report. So it's not like not that the show is going anywhere. We have a new host, Trevor something or other. I'm sorry, I just didn't catch his name. It's not because he's forgettable or nothing like that. And we also have The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore. I just started watching it, and frankly, I like it. And of course, we have last week tonight with with uh, um I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. It's pretty late. John Oliver. I'm sorry, John Oliver on HBO. So we're gonna miss him, especially now. We really need him because of the presidential election. That's right. Barack Obama's time, unfortunately, is coming to an end, and now we have to look for a new president. And the GOP presidential candidates are rife with comedy fodder, mostly because of one Donald Trump. Why is this important? Why am I talking about this just now? Well, this got posted on my Facebook, and I wanted to read it to you. It is an article from addictinginfo.org. Um, where it's titled, and I will leave the link in the description, and it says, "Someone awesome hacked Donald Trump's website and turned it into an amazing Jon Stewart tribute image." I'll read the article, but I won't read the tweet itself or the message itself. It's best that you read it for yourself as fellow Jon Stewart fans. So anyway, the article reads, "The GOP debate has brought out the nasty in Donald Trump. If we thought his comments about Mexican immigrants being rapists, about President Obama making black America worse than just about ever, and many other disgusting things just as bad, we haven't seen anything until that debate. The debate was definitely bad, but it was especially his misogynistic, hateful tweets he sent to debate moderator and host of Fox's The Kelly File, Megyn Kelly, as he insinuated that menstruation was the reason she wasn't as nice as he would have liked her to be. Well, Trump got his comeuppance for his terrible behavior when some wonderful tech-savvy liberals hacked into his website and turned it into a beautiful tribute to the recently departed host of Comedy Central's The Daily Show, Jon Stewart. It wasn't Trump's presidential campaign site that was hacked. It was instead the Trump organization's official website, Trump.com. Through the site, of course, back online now, we have an image of what the hacker did to be saved for prosperity right here on the interwebs, and it shows the exact what this hacker posted. It's a very beautiful hack, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, so I'll just leave it in the description below so you can read. Article continues. Jon Stewart, of course, changed politics and political discourse forever, and he is truly an icon. He made politics funny, he held news organizations accountable, and mocked politicians relentlessly. He made an entire generation love politics so much that we went to him for our news instead of listening to the corruption, half-truths, and outright lies that are so prevalent on regular news channels. As for Trump, he provided Stewart with endless material over the years, and I am truly sorry that our beloved Daily Show host will not be around to mock the Donald during the campaign only he can. It is, however, more fitting that this hacker, known as Twitter user TextCom Canada, hashtag TextCom Telecomics Canada, would choose the Trump organization's official site to pay homage to Jon Stewart on. Whoever you are, I salute you. But yeah, This just goes to show you that this is something I was talking to my parents earlier about. Mother talked about how she kind of liked Trump because he was so brutally honest. Well, he's a brutally honest jackass, is what he is, unfortunately. Because when you, as a amateur presidential historian, I know kind of what it takes to be president. What the kind of, it's just more than what you've done, but it's also a certain aura about you that will say, will history remember you? And how will your name be reflected in the eye lens of history? Because a lot of presidents who were terrible at the time have been redeemed through the lens of history. One of the more bigger examples was Abraham Lincoln, who at the time was the most hated and vilified president to ever sit in the office. And now he is pretty much a martyred saint, America's very own deified saint, as it were. But yeah, but this also goes to show that what Donald Trump is doing is not unheard of. Sure, it's wild and unprecedented in this day and age, but back in the eras long ago, long begotten for this country, there have been people just like him. Rich people who think they can just say whatever they want and that'll get them elected. Not understanding that this is not a matter of people hating on him for free speech, and far from it. You can say whatever you want. You just have to deal with the consequences of your actions. He called Mexicans immigrants rapists, drug dealers, and killers. Now he has to live with the consequences of his actions. There have been multitudes of videos of people coming out, primarily Mexicans, talking shit about him, saying why are you talking shit about us? We mow your lawns, we build your houses, we pick your vegetables, we do everything that you are so busy running your empire too busy to do. We clean your houses, we do everything for you, and this is how you repay us. And he talks about building a wall along the Mexico-United States border. All right, let me educate you on something. The border between the United States and Mexico is big, really, really big. And to build a continuous wall from the Pacific all the way to the Gulf of Mexico is a Herculean task in and of itself. It will require hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to do, as well as going to need a lot of labor. And who is going to build this wall? The very people Donald Trump called rapists. That's right. So he insults a country, insults its inhabitants, but still needs them to do the heavy work so they can lock him off from the rest of the country. And then there was his comments made towards Megyn Kelly. Now, of course, I'm not a prescriber of Fox News because thanks to Jon Stewart, I see them now as the biased lie machine that they are. But I wouldn't go so far as to do something that so base as to insult a woman by bringing up her menstrual cycle. Yeah, Donald Trump he's all comedy gold, but I would not trust him to run my country because he sucks at it. He thinks that because he can because he's rich and he can speak louder than everyone else, that he's perfect for the job. No, not just, see, he has to understand. When you run for president, your entire life is under a microscope. Everyone's going to find some bit of info on your life and just bring it out into the open. They will just examine it under a microscope because you're running for the office of the highest office in the land, to be the leader of the most powerful nation on earth. This is the reason why Charlie Manson is not running for office, or some other crazy crackpot every other crazy crackpot who thinks they can run the office, because their entire life is under a microscope, and the media and their enemies and their opponents they'll look at their life and say, I see something, it's a flaw, let's bring it out. So, and not just in our nation, the world is watching, because other leaders of other countries are going to be like, this is the next person that I'm going to be dealing with for at least 4 to 8 years. I need to see what kind of person he is. And all Donald Trump has done in the last couple of months since he announced his presidency is that he's done what Donald Trump does. He talks a big game. He makes promises. He says whatever is on his mind, and damn the consequences, because he's Donald Trump and he can do whatever the fuck he wants. But that's not going to work. It takes more than just being a loudmouth. It takes more than running a billion-dollar company. It takes more than being rich. It takes a certain level of political savvy. It takes a certain level of political respect that you have to earn. It's the reason why President Barack Obama is far more respected outside of the U.S. than he is inside the U.S. Because he is a politically savvy person. He is a genuinely nice person, but don't fuck with him. And he knows how to deal with other foreign leaders by not threatening them, what Donald Trump would do. I think Donald Trump is under the misconception that the president has absolute power and can do whatever the hell he wants. He probably even thinks that he'll be president for life if he ever gets in the office, which is wrong. The checks and balances. The president can't do everything that he wants to do, or else President Barack Obama would have come through with half of the stuff he promised when he was running for election in the first place. But it's not his fault, because the Republicans kept cock blocking him from doing whatever he wants, and the constant disrespect and what have you. If he was really as big a tyrant as people said he was, no one would be saying anything bad about him at all. Fox News would be shut down. The Republican Party would be disbanded. He would have made himself, and people compare him to Adolf Hitler. Well, he would have been marching people to the extermination chamber right about now, or he would have dissolved he would have dissolved the entire political system and would have named himself president for life. But he hasn't done all that because he's not a tyrant. He's just a president, and people need to stop throwing those words around. Tyrant, bigot, racist, devil. They need to stop throwing these words around and actually learn what they mean, because they come off looking stupid. But unfortunately, it's too late for you, Mr. Donald Trump, because you already look stupid. And no amount of money or big word shouting is gonna remedy that, because I can see right now, you're gonna make it an entertaining run, but you will never get close to the White House. Because eventually people wise up, and if he does become president of the United States, this country is doomed. Because running a billion-dollar company is one thing. Running a country, oh, another mess. But anyway, those are my thoughts on this whole situation. So anyway, if you like what you see, link, comment, subscribe below. Got any questions, comments, or just want to talk about this whole crap that Donald Trump has dug himself into again, leave them below. I'll get back to you. I will leave a link in the description to the article in question so you can read that glorious, glorious message to Jon Stewart. If you want to support the channel, like button's right there. You know what to do. Commercials are right here. Ads are right here. You know what to do. Tip jars up there. You know what to do. So until next time, it's been shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, saying good night. And Donald Trump, you're fired.